You know, when you think about it, your home's climate control system is basically a soldier in a constant battle. And we're going to use Dallas, Texas as our case study today. I mean, it's a true war zone for air conditioners. But this struggle, it's something homeowners everywhere can understand. So let's dive in.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to get to know the enemy, the climate itself. Then we'll figure out how to read your system's SOS signals. After that, we'll talk about the right way to fix things, a simple money rule for those tough decisions, and finally, we'll give you a couple of easy tools for your own homeowner toolkit.
All right, let's set the scene. In a place like Dallas, your HVAC unit isn't just humming in the background. Oh no, it is fighting for its life every single day. The environment isn't just there, it's the main villain in this story.
So you might be wondering, what's the big deal? It's just hot, right? Well, it's way more than just a single hot day. It's really a combination of relentless overlapping attacks that push a system right to its breaking point.
Think of it like a full-on assault from 4 different directions. First, you've got that sustained triple-digit heat, which forces the system to run nonstop. Then there's the shifting clay soil, which can literally rip your ductwork apart underground. Third, that intense, sticky humidity means the system has to fight both heat and moisture. And finally, you get those big summer thunderstorms with power surges that can just fry the electronics. Each one is a serious threat on its own.
But here's the good news. Your system almost never dies without some kind of warning. It sends out distress signals, you know? The real key is knowing how to listen and what you're listening for before a little problem turns into a complete meltdown in the middle of a heat wave.
Okay, this is the most obvious one, right? The AC is on, but the air coming out of the vents is warm. That is your system screaming for help. It can be anything from low refrigerant to a failing compressor, which is basically the heart of the whole operation.
If you see a puddle of water around your indoor unit, that is never a good sign. In humid places, your system is pulling gallons of water out of the air. Normally, that water drains away. But if that drain line gets clogged, it all backs up and spills out, which can damage your home and even lead to mold. Your HVAC system should really just be background noise. It shouldn't sound like a symphony of destruction. So if you hear grinding, squealing, or some loud clanking sound, that's often a sign that a mechanical part, like a fan motor, is about to completely give up. You do not want to ignore those sounds.
Short cycling. That's just a term for when your system turns on and then off again really quickly, like only running for a few minutes at a time. This is just brutal on the system. It puts a ton of wear and tear on the most important parts. It's a huge red flag that something is seriously wrong.
So let's say your system is showing one of these signs, and you call for a repair. This brings us to a really important point. Not all repairs are created equal. There's a huge difference between just putting a Band-Aid on the problem and actually finding a real solution.
And this right here is the whole ball game. The symptom fix guy just replaces the broken part, takes your money, and leaves. But the root cause technician, they ask why. Why did it break? Was it a power surge? Is the airflow bad? Figuring out the why is what stops you from having the exact same problem a month from now.
Sooner or later, you're going to face the big question. Do I keep pouring money into this old thing, or is it time for a new one? It can feel like a total gamble, but there's actually a really simple rule of thumb that can help make it a lot clearer.
It's called the $5,000 rule. It's just a simple little bit of math to help you decide. All you do is take the age of your unit in years, multiply it by what the repair is going to cost, and if that number is more than $5,000, it's a pretty strong sign that replacing it is the smarter move financially.
Okay, let's walk through it. Let's say your AC unit is, 12 years old, and a technician tells you it's going to be a $500 repair. So you just multiply 12 times 500, which gives you $6,000. Since $6,000 is over $5,000, the rule says, hey, you're probably better off putting that repair money toward a brand new, more efficient system. Simple as that.
All right, let's wrap up by talking about prevention. You don't have to be some HVAC genius to protect your system. I'm going to give you 2 incredibly simple, practical rules that literally anyone can follow to help their unit last longer.
First up, the 2-foot rule. It's so simple. Your outdoor unit needs to breathe. So you have to make sure there are at least 2 feet of clear space all the way around it. No bushes, no fences, no junk. Anything that blocks that airflow makes the whole system work way harder, which costs you money and wears it out faster.
And next, we've got the 3-minute rule. So why 3 minutes? Well, after your system shuts off, the pressure inside needs a few minutes to equalize. If you restart it too soon, you're forcing it to work against massive pressure, and that can cause some serious damage.
Now, most new thermostats have this delay built right in, but it's still a fantastic habit to have.
You know, at the end of the day, this is really what it all boils down to. You don't have to be a technician, but just being an informed homeowner, that is your single best defense. Knowing what to look for, what to listen for, and when to get help can save you from a total disaster at the worst possible time.
So, we'll leave you with this question to chew on. After everything we've talked about, from those little distress signals to these simple rules of thumb, just take a second and think about your own place. Is your home, is it really ready for what the elements are going to throw at it next?